What is going on, Leafs Nation? And welcome. I guess it's back. I mean, it's the first time we're live on here in a little over 2 years, but by God, we are back because a lot has happened, and we are excited to talk Leafs hockey with you guys this year, moving forward each and every week. And it's going to be a blast. We're not going to talk just Leafs hockey. We're going to talk all kinds of things hockey, but it will be a Leafs-centric podcast. For those of you who are new, if you're watching for the first time and you found us somehow, I'm Brody. My co-host, who I'll introduce in a second here, his name is Booch. We are both major, huge, lifelong Leaf fans, and we are ready to talk Leafs hockey. For those of you who are watching on my other channel, the Jabroni Jabber podcast, this will be the one time we're kind of sharing live over there to show you about the channel there, and make sure you subscribe. Raking the Leafs on YouTube, link in the description below. Subscribe there. And without any further ado, I will introduce my co-host to this shit show, and we apologize for being late. First time dealing with technical difficulties, but we are good to go. And here's my co-host, channeling his inner Patrick Laine here. We see him laying down, kind of like Laine was doing in the 2015 interview. Friend of mine, friend of yours, Mr. Booch. Booch, how's it going, buddy?
Good, you?
Living the dream, my friend. Living the dream.
Fucking A.
You betcha, sir. So, might be a little bit of a shorter show tonight because we did run into some technical difficulties, but I guess we're kind of, just going to talk about all the moves the Leafs have made since the season ended last year, and I'm going to show here in a bit the Game 5 roster against Columbus on August 9th and how different this hockey team looks from August 9th to now. And then we're also going to talk about where we think what the lines are going to be as the season projects. I mean, I know, Booch, we still got a couple moves left. I don't know, before we get into the big moves that we've done. Maybe we'll talk about some moves that we haven't done. Like, where do you we got two big RFAs. I guess you can call them big. I really don't think people are making a big deal of it. I mean, Mikheyev had a good year. Soupy did when he played, but I don't think that's an arbitration case they really have to worry about because he played 15 games all year. He's not going to be a big arbitration, maybe $1.5 million at most.
Okay, there's an easy solution to our cap issue here. You ship Kerfoot on the next bus out of town, and you ship Justin Holl on the next bus out of town. All of a sudden, that's over $5.5 million.
Yeah, no, that would work. Hey, really, make sure you subscribe to the Raking the Leaf show too. No, that would work. I don't know if I really want to move Kerfoot, though. I mean, I guess of the two, I'd probably rather keep Hall if I had to trade one. But I don't really, given the fact that we gave up Kadri for Kerfoot and Barry, I don't want to give up Kerfoot and Barry a little over a year after he made the trade to completely blow up basically make the trade completely and utterly useless barely over a year after we traded it.
Well, when I give you my predicted lineup, you'll see why moving Kerfoot and Hall doesn't hurt us. I mean, $5.5 million in cap space that allows us to sign those two freely, plus have about probably 600,000-700,000 more.
And that 600,000 or 700,000 more is always key. But I guess what we're talking about, I guess we'll lead with. I don't know. I think with you, I guess the biggest story that we want to lead with, and I know has really said there in the chat, I remember a number of years ago when the Leafs signed Nieuwendyk, Leach, and Francis at the end of their careers. This is different because we signed at that time. We acquired all three of those guys to play big roles, like in the top 6, top 4 defense. I mean, Brody will play probably easily in the top 4, but Simmons and VC and Thornton and all these guys, these are bottom 6 guys. If we're banking on these guys to win or lose, we're in a world of trouble. Like, these guys are, I don't know what you think, Booch, but to me, these guys, we're not getting Jumbo from 2008 here. We're getting an older Jumbo to play in the bottom six. It's still going to be the Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares. Those guys are still going to Riley. Those are the guys that are going to take us somewhere. It's not Joe Thornton on a $700,000 contract that we're going to be relying on him for big minutes. And if we do, we're in a world of trouble.
No, Joe Thornton on a 700 contract. So
Mother trucker, you're kind of cutting in and out there.
Comfortable with Thornton.
We do apologize. It is our first time going here.
Better?
Yeah, that sounds
Hey.
better. So what were you saying about Jumbo?
I said Jumbo at 700,000, Simmons at 1.5, Spezza at 700,000. Those guys are going to be the guys that put us over the top, I think. Like, you look at Tampa in 2019 getting bounced in the first round, swept by Columbus. And you look what they did. They kept the core. They kept Kucherov, Hedman, Stamkos, Point, Palat. But their bottom six was totally revamped. And a lot of it, like, their bottom 2D were revamped. I think we're doing the same thing. It might work out.
Yeah, exactly. And like people are just, and I will start with Jumbo. I've loved everything I've heard coming out of the Jumbo camp since he signed. Like he said, I want to win a Stanley Cup. I think I'm going to win one here. And I'm going to segue into Really's question here, talking about Freddie. Do you think they should keep their goalie? Some people say move him, but I disagree. I completely agree with you, really. I don't think Freddie was the problem last year. Did Freddie have a down year? Yes. And I think that's the basement, the floor of Freddie's numbers. That was a bad year. But I guess that segues. Look at the defense core that he had playing in front of him. He had Morgan Riley, who we all know and love, playing with Cody Ceci, who I don't care what the analytic numbers say about him having a good year. My eyes said he was not that good. I don't care what the underlying, and I'm starting to get a little more into analytics, and I understand analytics, and there is a purpose and an importance. But yeah, I watched every Leafs game last year. Ceci was a problem. Martin Marincin played too much. Sandin and Liljegren weren't ready. The defensive core was a dumpster. You could have put Patrick Waugh circa 1993 in the Leafs net last year, and I don't think he puts up good numbers. The defense was terrible. What say you?
And not only that, our forwards didn't really help out our D too much either.
No, I expect more from Matthews. I know he can play better in his own end, and he was probably, I think, one of our better defensive forwards. We just need more from the other guys.
Him and I think Marner was our best defensive forward last year.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I think one of those two will win a Selke trophy. It'll probably be Matthews because you got to do fucking.
Marner will never win Selke because he's a winger.
I was just about to say, you in today's league, you can't win a Selke as a winger. Yes, they should have got rid of Babcock.
Yeah, you can't get rid of somebody. You can't.
They should have got rid of Babcock right after they lost the Boston series in 2019. He shouldn't even have started the 2020s or the next season. That's what I think. I don't know. What do you think? But I don't think Bab should have come back.
Well, I honestly think Nazem Kadri should still be here. And Mike Babcock should have been the one taking the fall for that. And giving Kadri another year to... And people say he got suspended twice in the playoffs, which cost us those series. But if you have a Wayne Simmons on your roster like you do there, or even if you kept Martin's cap hit, Kadri doesn't have to go around and do that.
No, and like I see both sides of the argument. I don't know I know why he got moved, and I understand why they wanted to move him. But like you said, he shouldn't have been put in that situation. Did he cost us both those series? 100%, I think he did. And I love Kadri because of the way he played on the edge and everything. I didn't want to see him get moved, but I understand why the move was made. I don't agree with it, but I understand why it was done.
No, but I think you have him as our center going into the Columbus series. And even though we don't have Barry or Kerfoot, I think Kadri as our third line center going into the Columbus series, we win that series. Because what are we missing in that series?
Yeah, a little sandpaper, a little grit. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think I'm not some. See, I don't know about you. I didn't want Kadri to ever get traded, but I wouldn't have been so upset with the trade if the initial trade happened. If it was the trade to Calgary where we would have got Brody, I still would have been upset, but not as upset. If that makes any sense, because I've always liked TJ Brody. So
Wow. Well, a couple of buddy, an Oilers, and he's all he summer was Tyson Barrie. I lies and called that guy an idiot.
what did he
I
mention
watched
about?
that too many games last year. He didn't win a battle. He wasn't that good offensively. He turned the puck over too much. Like Tyson Barrie was not a good defenseman for us, and Kerfoot hasn't been any good at all. Like,
Yeah, I agree with you. And what pissed me off most about Barry is, well, you got to play him on power play one to get the best out of him. Well, I'm sorry, but Morgan Riley put up 70 points the year before. Why was Morgan Riley put to the second power play unit for Barry, who's never put up more than 50? That was just a bad move. It didn't help the team. Riley never should have been taken off PP1. That was stupid.
no.
And I guess why I'm more
I
like the Brody signing is let's think, Booch, over the the 8 years that Riley's been in the organization, better part of 6, up with the big club. Let's name who's his best partner that he's had in his career. Ron Hainsey in his time here. It's got to be Hainsey.
Zaitsev was a better, but he had his best with Hainsey.
So yeah, if we're talking
100%.
Hainsey, we're talking Hainsey or Zaitsev. That's not setting the bar very high. I think playing with Brody is going to help Riley huge.
Let's just say Hainsey and Zaitsev are on the worst team. Well, they're not going to be bad this year, but last year they were one of the worst teams I ever seen. Like,
well, the Red Wings this year were even worse. I can't believe. I guess we'll get back on track, but I can't believe how did the numbers Bernier put up playing in front of that dumpster fire. Bernier had a great year with the Wings. He had like almost a 920 with that shit team.
good old Bernier.
Yeah, but like I said,
we never got him. Reimer's still our goalie to this day.
and I would be happier than a pig in shit because I love James Reimer. Nothing like, hey, thanks for carrying us to the 2013 playoffs. We're just going to sign another goalie. That still pisses me off. Reimer has a place in my. Reimer is honestly one of my 5 favorite Leafs ever. But getting back to
didn't Carolina this year when Mrazek got hurt.
Yeah, even people like there was rumblings going around. I forget. Like, yeah, Reimer had like a 915, 920 again. Like people need to actually go back and look at Reimer's numbers. He's a career like 910 goalie, and he played with the Leafs for the first 5 years.
On some shit.
But yeah, I guess maybe we'll do a quick little show here to kind of wrap her up. We're gonna shoot for like the 30 to 45 minute range, but Bucci's having some problems on his end that we'll try to dial out over the next few days. So when we come back at you next week, we're killing it. But I guess we'll quickly, so we kind of dial it down here. I want to show you guys. This was the Leafs lineup for Game 5 against Columbus. Tavares, Matthews, Marner, Hyman, Nylander, Kapanen, Janssen, Kerfoot, Mikheyev, Clifford, Engvall, Spezza. So, and then Dermott, Hall, Riley, Ceci, Marincin, Barry. and then Freddie and Jack Campbell. No fucking wonder we lost.
Geez.
That bottom six is atrocious. And that's no disrespect to Mikheyev, because he should, like, he won't be in the bottom six. This year with me, I've got him. I got him with Nylander and Marner is where I've got him, because I've got Matthews with no, check that. I've got our first line of Matthews, Marner, Hyman, the second line, Nylander, Mikheyev, Tavares. I don't know. What do you got for the top six?
I got Matthews, Hyman, Nylander, Marner, Tavares, Mikheyev.
Okay, so the only ones we've got Willie and Mitchie flipped. Are you now as we've gotten tight to the cap, and I don't know if you were before, but are you off, if you ever were on, are you off the trade Nylander camp? Because I used to be 100% on the trade Nylander camp. I can officially say 100% I am off the trade Nylander camp.
Yeah, well, you trade him. That $7 million looks a lot better contract after the year he had last year. Plus,
That's
you
why-
trade that guy. You look at it. The guy he works his bag off every night. He's actually not a soft player. He goes in the corners. He does everything right. Like, I like Willie a lot.
So do I. And he led the league in goals inside, like right in front of the net. And yeah, if you give me, like, if we didn't get the shortened season, he was going to score 35 if we played the last 12 games. You give me 35 million or 35 goals for under 7 million. Thank you. I'll take that all day, twice on Sunday. That's a great contract. If there's any contract on this team that's bad,
Patrick Laine making $7 million. That guy's a bum.
Yeah, I don't like him either. I'd take Nylander over Laine. But if there is a bad contract on this team, well, some people say it's the Tavares one. He was a UFA. I fuck off with that. He took less money. More people offered him more money than we did. So that's not a bad contract. If there is a bad contract,
Well,
it's the Marner contract.
I disagree. I disagree with that all day.
That's
not a bad contract.
What's the bad contract?
No, he's almost 11. 34.
Matthews? No, I don't think so. At 12, I think that's a bad contract, maybe because of the pandemic and the cap staying flat. If the cap kept rising like everybody projected it to until goddamn Corona happened,
so much of a bad contract. We only got him for Phil. Like, we only locked him up for 5 years. It's a bad thing.
Oh, you're talking about term, length, not term.
Yeah.
Yeah, it walks him right into free agency. No, I agree with that part. But a lot of people say he's overpaid. Yeah. And I say I said that 12 million is not too much money. But
scores a lot of goals, decent defensively. I've said it about Matthews and I'll say it again. My one pet peeve with him. You're 6'3", you're strong as an ox. Get more room out there drop the mitt, pummel somebody. You see French Mario Lemieux in his career, look how he got. He fought Probert, for God's sakes.
Well, Mario Lemieux is the perfect hockey player. Or sorry, still is. Mario Lemieux is the perfect hockey player. And that you will never change my mind on.
Yeah, but you can't, like, Matthews never gets mad.
Yeah, I know. But you never know. Some of those guys.
Look when he ran that guy over in Florida. It resulted in a goal. Like,
I think
he's got to be. Oh no, maybe it's because he's American. I have no idea, but
I think he showed more glimpses of his physicality last year. I think as this season progresses and everything, he will, or as his career progresses, he will he'll get a little more sandpaper in there.
Well, I think this year he will for sure because you got number 97 playing behind him, who was an absolute like. Matthews is an inch shorter, maybe lighter than Thornton ever was, but Thornton went with balls. Do it all.
Yeah, no,
These kids we have Islander Mark, if the playoffs it easy. Because Thornton's gonna come in and he's gonna set some of these kids straight.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a big attribution, but don't worry. I'm pretty sure we'll hear some. We shall hear that a couple times after a big 34 hit this coming season. Don't you worry. So I guess we'll wrap her up here, Booch. And so bottom 6, like this is, I think Engvall's playing for the Marlies. Or if the Marlies even exist, we can't afford that. But I think our bottom 6 for me, I had Robertson, Jumbo, Thornton, and then Simmons, Spezza.
Robertson, Jumbo, Thornton. That's only.
What? Sorry.
You said Robertson, Jumbo, Thornton.
Oh shit! Robertson, Jumbo, Robertson, Jumbo,
and Thornton are the same person.
Robertson, Jumbo, VC, and then Simmons, Spezza, and Kerfoot if he's around on the 4th line. And then the taxi squad for would be the taxi squad would be our extra forward would probably be what's that new Russian's name? Barabanov and the kid we got in the Janssen trade.
Oh, Joey Anderson.
Yeah,
we're a little different on the bottom 6 though. I have Robertson, Thornton, Barabanov, Spezza, Simmons, VZ.
I like that. And who do you got for the 2 taxi squad forwards?
Joey Anderson and Kenny Agostino.
Don't mind that.
Travis.
And then I guess for defense, I'm going to go Brody, Riley, and then I've still got Hall. So I've got Hall and Muzz. And then for the third pairing, I've got Lettinen, or no, what the hell's that kid lighting up the AHL? Lettinen. And Dermott. And then Bogosian is the 7th defenseman.
Really, eh?
And then if there's a Marlies, Sandin and Liljegren will hopefully be playing big minutes on the Marlies. If there's not a Marlies, then Sandin will probably get in more than Bogosian, and Liljegren get fucked. Maybe, hopefully they loan him to a team in Europe or something if there's no Marlies so he can play.
Riley, Brooke, I think they already own. That'll be a pair. I got Muzzin, Bogosian, and Dermott and Lettinen.
I don't mind that. The only thing I don't like with your second pairing is that's awfully slow.
That's our shutdown pairing, though. Like, no one's going to want to play against that D pairing. No one in their right mind. They're both mean. They're both nasty. They're both big. Like, great defensively.
Yeah, no, it should be interesting. And then, so I guess last thing for you, Bucci here. How many games if we play full 8? Here's a better question because we don't know exactly how many games we're going to play. What percentage of the games do you think Freddie plays? And then obviously Campbell gets in for the rest because I don't think Dell's going to play much at all.
65
Okay.
at the most.
So at a full season, that projects to roughly what? 40, about 50, 53 games if we play a full 82.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I think Campbell is a lot better than people think, and I'm not just saying that because he's a Leafs fan or because I'm a Leafs fan. Go back and look at the 2018 Kings, where Quick had like an 880 save percentage or something. Campbell had a 920 almost in front of that not very good team at all. I think LA gave
Good
up the wrong
goalie.
goalie. I think LA gave up the wrong goalie.
He was drafted 11th overall or wherever he was drafted for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
goalies
something there.
Goalies develop late, and goalies are a crapshoot anyway. But to me, if you have a not, I'm going to pull up his stats quick. Like, I'm big on Jack Campbell. I think Jack's going to have a big year this year. Freddie's going to play well too, but I think Jack Campbell's going to be the starting goalie of the Leafs next season, not this coming season, the season after.
I completely agree.
Yeah, so what I was saying there, so in the 2018-2019 Kings, he had a 2.30 goals against average and a 928 save percentage in 31 games.
Wow.
And let me just pull up quick stats in the same year. So, yeah, 230 goals against and a 928. In that 2018-2019 team, Quick played in 46 games, had a 338 goals against average and an 888 save percentage.
Jesus.
Jack Campbell's a good goalie, people. So, and then the nice thing about it is if Campbell projects to what I think he's going to be, then our starting goalie next year is 2.5. Well, no, what is it? 2.5? Yeah, that's what my dad just checked it. I think, did they sign Dell to a 1 or 2 year deal?
I think 1.
Oh, well. But I think, yeah, so next year, our starting goalie is going to be sub $3 million. And that's going to be huge.
Oh, for sure.
So everyone's laughing right now, saying we're in
board
cap hell. Don't worry.
Freddie.
I was open to
on board for shipping Freddie and Campbell's.
And that's not a knock against Freddie. I'm a big Freddie fan. I like Freddie, but I don't know. There's just something. This is the year. Obviously, it's a make it or break it year for Freddie because he's going into unrestricted free agency. But the Leafs defense core on paper is way better. The team is way better. Dad, they got a couple goalies down there. They got Ian Scott, Joseph Woll from the States. Ian Scott put up fucking ridiculous numbers in his last year in the WHL. He played for Prince Albert.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a Raider. So we got a couple of young goalies.
That front of them was ridiculous.
Yeah, so we'll see. We got stuff coming. It's a great year. We want to thank everyone that checked in, and we will be back at you next Sunday night. I don't know, Booch, you got anything else?
Nope, not really.
Alrighty. Well, we'll be back at you next Sunday. Make sure you follow the show on Twitter at Raking the Leafs. It's going in the ticker behind you. If you are watching on YouTube and somehow found us and you liked what we did, aside from the technical difficulties, which we promised to work out, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Check out my other show each and every Thursday. It's called Jabroni Jabber Podcast. We talk all things wrestling, movies, music, all over the place. It's a good time. Me and my two co-hosts, Alex and Nick, have a blast. And folks, thanks for checking in. We will be back at it next Sunday at about 6:15 Mountain Time, 8:15 Eastern Time. Have a good one, guys. And as always, go Leafs.
The Dodgers game.
What'd you say?
Tell me the score in the Dodgers game right now.
I don't know. Check. Use Google. All right, guys. Have